That's Dude.
That's Dude.
And welcome to Lazyboys Night.
Can I say woo woo?
You can always woo. Oh, look at the
Yeah.
color on this thing. That's
That
beautiful.
is super orangey, man.
Oh, that's
Don't
probably
tell
why
me
the
this
can
is
is
going to
orangey.
be.
No, I don't think so. This is the Naughty Otter Lager.
Whoa.
Ooh, how naughty. Oh, that's a
Whoa.
terrible head.
Mine's awesome.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I still have a little bit left in my can, but I don't want it to
fantastic.
overflow. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Oh, I can't wait to try this
pulled
one.
it off.
Oh.
I'm
Look
looking
at
for.
you.
So this one is from. I saw this earlier. I think it's from the Gananoque. Gananoque is kind of down the
See on the side of
401.
the can? Stay naughty.
Stay naughty.
Stay
Oh,
naughty.
very nice. I look forward to trying this. All right.
All right, cheers.
It's just two guys talking. There they go again, saying anything. Talking about nothing. Nothing new to say. Talking anyway. So much to review. So let's have a cold brew. A cold brew. Everybody's talking. It's not anything. No one's listening. Talking about nothing. They're all yammering. I can't hear a thing. Nothing I can do. So let's have one more brew. One more brew.
All right. Oh, I like that. Surprise!
Because Dude never likes his beers. You
There's
know, it's
been-
got
not very many.
it's got a bit of an aftertaste for a lager that most don't, but it's a very pleasant one. You taste what I'm saying? A lot of
That's
lagers,
true, eh?
yeah, a lot of lagers tend to just fade off the tongue after that first second, but this one has a little bit of a linger to it, but a very pleasant linger. I'm a fan.
This is like an old tavern pub style lager, I feel.
Yeah,
Right? You're sitting around at a round table and you're just chatting it up and you're getting pints and
yeah. I don't feel like it's the quick commercialized
No,
get 'em
this
out
is
beer.
a
This is
nice-
like we took
yeah.
our time, we crafted something special here for
this
you.
is a conversational beer, so
Oh,
nice.
nice. Well done, Naughty Otter. That's just fun to say. Naughty Otter.
Mm.
So wait, is Naughty Otter the name of the brewing company, or is that just the name of the... What's...
Before we know, you'll know. Look at the bottom.
Because I can't... I need my glasses.
We're gonna have to start wearing our glasses. That's whoo. Yeah.
It's from the Gananoque Brewing Company.
There we go.
There we go. So Naughty Otter is the name of the beer from the Gananoque Brewing Company.
Good job. Oh,
Good
look
job.
at the animation. That's so cute.
I know. Well, look,
There's a
put
little
the
on
cans
Naughty
together.
Otter.
It's
Aww.
All right. So much with the Naughty Otter.
'Kay.
Let's move on to something else that could be naughty. Who knows?
Who knows, but I know what I want to do.
It's the Crappy Bowl of Mystery.
And it says so on the bowl.
He says so on the bowl.
I wanna. Let's see what you got.
Oh, this could be interesting. Especially when you read who it's from. Hang on. It's the question is, what is the worst fashion trend of all time in your opinions? But it's signed Hugh G. Rection, USA, Florida. Thank you, Hugh.
Thanks, Hugh.
So we're gonna ignore that
Oh,
part.
jeez.
I know. Classy.
Stay classy, folks.
But what is the worst fashion trend of all time in your opinions?
Work like of all time.
Of all time.
The history
So-
of man.
Yeah, so I guess this can go back as far as like ancient Egyptians, and as recent as this
Fashion
morning.
statement back in old Egypt.
Well, I don't.
Back
know
in the
what's
days
there.
of the pharaohs. Ooh,
I'm
yeah. Do you have something that pops like that's a really that's a really weird question.
I think there's several. I don't think I can narrow it down to one. And fashion trend, I think, can also extend beyond clothing to accessories and so forth. It's part of the fashion.
Oh, you mean like the little dogs in your purse?
Yeah, dogs in your purse is exactly a fashion trend, which is kind of
Fashion
ridiculous. I'm thinking there was at one point during the, I'm not even sure when exactly. I'm just going to say somewhere after the Renaissance.
I have something in
where like people would wear like these huge curly wigs, but at one point it was trendy to actually have a little bird cage woven in the wig with an actual live bird.
That's not a real
It's a thing. It was a thing. It didn't
Come
last
on.
long, but it was a thing. There was an actual live bird in a little cage woven
That's
into the
so-
wig.
oh.
So I'm talking. So really, it could be a lot of weird stuff like that.
The first thing that popped in my head is that I don't know what period this was. I think it was probably the Victorian era. When you had gentlemen had those weird big collars.
Oh, that was the
there's like
Elizabethan era.
Yeah, so
The ruffled collar.
so the massive, and then they had like the poofy pants that came up short, and it was just really odd when you look at them. It's like, where does this stem from? Like, how did you guys get? Do you want to be so separated from the poor that you go completely extreme the other way?
That's
that
pretty
wear
much what it was.
Fashionable clothing, just completely oddball. It's
But you're right.
weird
Those
moments.
colors, yeah, that was the Elizabethan era.
There's no practical use for it, or maybe
No.
there was. Who knows?
No, but
I don't think there
don't forget. Back then, status was noticed by fashion because the poor class could not afford fancy clothes. So the more fancy stitching, the more bright colors you had, the more ruffles, the more this,
Yeah,
the richer
more
you were.
expensive, Yeah.
It didn't matter if you looked like an idiot. The point is, look at me, I can afford all this extravagant stuff. I am rich, you shall bow down to me, I'm your superior. And that was the attitude. And I agree, it looks ridiculous. I'm also thinking...
Fashion-wise, that's what I think of.
I'm thinking from a practical perspective, because I'm actually reading a book series right now, really interesting, just side note, about a modern...
Side notes, we're the kings of side notes. Off track, go ahead.
It's a series by an author called Julie McElwain, and the idea is that there's an FBI profiler who somehow winds up 200 years in the past, in the early 1800s.
Okay.
And she's stuck there, and as a woman, nobody's taking her seriously. But she's an FBI profiler. But the thing is, even to get dressed, she can't get dressed by herself because the fashions required a lady's maid to tie you up in this stuff. There's no... The servants wore common clothes, but anybody who was upper crust, because she winds up associated with a duke, couldn't get dressed by themselves because the fashion, you couldn't lace up your back like that. You couldn't get out of it. You needed someone to dress you. So how impractical is that to have clothes that you can't put on your own? I think that's a horrible fashion choice.
That is a horrible fashion choice.
Yeah.
When you need other people to suit you up, like you're going on a lunar exploration.
But
That's wild.
That's wild. But that's historical. Let's talk modern within our lifespan here.
One thing that I've seen recently is I was watching a documentary on Janet Jackson.
Okay.
And in that documentary, there was a lot of footage of when she was younger and her older brothers, the Jackson 5, were performing.
Michael, Tito,
And their first costume for the Jackson 5 was actually made by their mom. But back in those days, and it was like the 60s, the colors are like never, those colors you would never imagine could go together.
They clash, you mean?
Holy jeez. I don't know where she got the material, but it still worked. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I was looking at it going, how intense it's like if you're looking like at Austin Powers and everything, the 60s, how colors and vibrant colors and loud, like big flowers and big everything was just so vibrant. And I was looking at them and I'm like, you guys, that definitely defines that era. Is all of these pastel colors and vibrant colors and.
But at least it was vibrant. I'm going to say
it's still nice, but it's very dated.
I'm going to say the worst was actually the 70s, because the 70s went from
throughout history. The 70s were the worst
in modern history.
Okay.
In modern history, I'm going to say the 70s because. You know, the 50s were cool, the 60s were groovy, vibrant colors. The 70s were just so tacky. This is where you had, like, like collared
Oh, the
lapels
big
out
butterfly
to
colored.
here, and the color schemes, the colors of choice were brown, orange, and avocado green.
Pants.
Oh yeah,
The bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms
Bell
started
bottoms.
it's in the late '60s on the jeans, but then it just become flared. Even suit pants
Everything.
had
The big belts
the giant belts
The
and,
huge
and,
belt
and the
buckles.
platform shoes
and the massive ties that were like super
the
thick
polyester
and short.
one-piece jumpsuits for men.
Oh,
Oh, remember like you'd see these old Sears
Yes.
catalog pictures of these guys, and you're like, really? And then couple that with horrible hairstyle fashions and giant mustaches, and you're like, what?
okay, all I can think about is WKRP. If you, what was the salesman's name?
Herb Darlick. Herb Darlick from
You
WKRP.
WKRP.
Oh.
Herb Darlick. He is the what was it? The quintessential.
Quintessential.
Thank you. Representation of that time when it came to suits.
Yeah,
It was unreal.
Yeah, the white belt with the white shoes and the ugly blue plaid
Oh.
jacket and
Yeah, 70s were pretty bad.
I think the 70s overall
Yeah.
were just horrible. The 80s tried to
80s
switch
was-
that. The 80s were cheesy.
80s were cheesy.
The 70s were
It's almost
tacky,
like
the
they
80s were
took the
cheesy.
60s and made it wrong. in
Because
the
the 80s, yeah, they made it fluorescent.
Everything was fluorescent.
Everything was
Everything.
like bright
Didn't matter
pink or
what
bright
you
yellow
wore.
or bright green or bright orange.
Ah. Okay, so there's a lot of
There's
bad
a lot.
fashion.
I think. Don't get me wrong; they had their good moments too. But I think
Jeez.
overall, modern era. I'm just going to say the entire 1970s is just
Is
a
your
horrible
worst?
fashion trend.
Okay.
And historically, I'm going to go with women's dresses. I'm going to say circa 1700s, early 1800s, when ladies could not dress themselves. It's impractical. It's stupid.
Okay, so historical, mine is still the dudes with the big collars.
That
and
just looks
and
ridiculous.
The pants, they look
The pantaloons.
The pantaloons, they look completely ridiculous. But my worst, let's say, modern era to me would be the 80s. The 80s to me, the just I'm thinking like the white jacks. I'm thinking Miami Vice. The white
Oh.
jackets, wearing
Rolled
the
up
shoes
sleeves with the no socks.
no socks. And the mullets, everybody with the mullets.
Oh, and the shoulder pads.
The shoulder
pads.
guys and girls with shoulder pads, women, and the big hair. Oh my god, the big hair. That's when we destroyed the ozone layer.
We
by the
did.
way,
It was
in
all
the
those
80s.
aerosol cans of hairspray.
Oh.
The big
The
poodle
girls
hair.
had the massive hair.
Oh.
So to me, modern era, 80s, we had it wrong. Like specifically the early 80s was really bad. So those are my two choices.
Yeah. So really, it's like, let's say anything from 1973 to 1985.
Yeah, oh my, even closer to the 90s. Actually, the full 80s, because even into the early 90s, there was still that reminiscent of the 80s that was
There
like
were a few
trickling out.
people clinging, but I think by the 90s, a lot of
Fanny
people.
packs were in the
Oh,
late 80s.
fanny packs.
Fanny packs.
Oh my God.
It's like,
Fanny
there we
packs.
go. That's all I gotta say.
Did you
Fanny
own
packs.
one?
Yes.
We all did.
Of course I did. Had the
Windbreakers.
mullet,
Windbreakers.
windbreakers,
Parachute pants.
parachute pants. Thanks, MC Hammer. That's your fault.
So really, the 70s
Can't
and
touch
80s,
this.
the 70s and 80s were horrible.
Yeah, they were horrible. They were super fun.
Oh, they were fun.
great times. But
Cultural
horrible
explosion.
fashion.
People
Oh.
trying new things.
Yeah.
Breakthroughs on so many levels.
Yeah.
But fashion-wise, I think that's the thing. I
Fashion-wise.
think they tried too
They
hard.
tried too hard.
They
we were
tried too
having
hard.
a blast. It was a great time to be alive.
Oh my God.
But fashion-wise, it was a horrible, horrible time. The sheer tackiness of the 70s and 80s.
So basically, what we're saying
Okay.
is our youth was the most horrible.
It's because we're having, oh my god, post-traumatic stress disorder regarding fashion. All right. So that ended up being a good conversation.
That was a lot of fun. I'm feeling
Thanks,
nostalgic
you.
now. Thanks, dude.
Okay. Cheers. See you next time. Oh, do we even clip? We missed each
Oh.
other. Wait for it. There we go.
All right, dude.
Don't forget, by the way, it's very important to, at the bottom here.
Like, share, subscribe, send free stuff. Peace
Comment. If you subscribe, you can
out.
also
Please comment. We love to get your feedback.
We won't always
And
answer,
you know what?
but we'll
I'm going to
always
put it out
read.
right now. What do you think was the worst fashion trend ever?
Yeah. But be nice. Don't talk about us, okay?
You're gonna be like wearing short sleeve shirts over a t-shirt.
Shush! This is comfortable. See you next time.